The United Fund was conceived, of all things, in a duck blind back in 1955, led by McKinney Willis and a group of philanthropists. They determined that they could take on the fundraising for local nonprofits so that the nonprofits could concentrate on what they do best, delivering programs and services to the community. And for the longest time, that worked beautifully because they were able to make their goal within, say, the first 4 months of the campaign. But as time has gone on and the pressures on all of the nonprofits has increased and the funding opportunities have shrunk, be it government grants or whatever else, all of the nonprofits now generally have to fundraise on their own, but not during our blackout period, which is September through the end of November. And most of the time we're able to garner, I'd say maybe 68% of our goal by December, which is pretty good. All the money, which I think is very important, is that it stays local. Nothing leaves the county. And to me, that's an important point for our donors to understand relative to our overall fiduciary responsibility to manage their dollars well. What we also have is a vetting process. In other words, our agencies are not rubber stamped and just automatically get a grant every year. We have what is known as an agency review committee, which starts up in February of each year and concludes with recommendations by the end of June. But this process, which is run by a group of wonderful volunteers, essentially review not only the application, but all of the agency's financials. They either go on interviews at site visits, or we have some of the agencies actually come in and do a full-blown presentation. It's what we've found, and we've actually been instrumental for some of our agencies, where we've said to them, your accounting procedures need to be improved, and then we would consider you. Or in the case of those who, for example, provide food and meals and whatever, sometimes people will try and scam the system, they're actual clients, so they may go to a couple of different agencies, maybe one in Caroline County and one here and whatever. And the fact is they're only supposed to be getting food once. So what some of these agencies have done at our recommendation have actually coordinated and developed a computer system that allows them to identify these people. So there's greater efficiency for them. And then there are also other agencies who eventually graduate from our help. That's included the library, the Y, way back when, Memorial Hospital, and there are one or two that over time we have said, you're big enough to go on your own. The fact is, the more that we can articulate who we are, what we do, and how we do it, that provides for a more informed donor who will say, okay, now I'll write you a check. I think it's just simply a matter of having a sense of community. And if we can create a positive kind of dialogue for the donors to understand that, we're your neighbor. And it's important that neighbors help neighbors. And it's also important that they understand what the needs are in this community. Now, certainly if they want to contribute directly to a particular agency, that's fine. But one of the beauties, and this goes way back to when it was first started, one of the beauties of the United Fund is that a donor can write one check. And if they want, they can even designate that they want a portion of it to go to a particular agency. But they only have to write one check. They don't have to write 6 checks or whatever. And they know that their money is going to go to work in the community.